G'day everyone, it's Adam from Visa and Citizenship Lawyers, and today's success story which I'm going to share with you is for an exemption application grant which we've had recently come through. So if you're not an Australian citizen or permanent resident and you're wanting to travel to Australia during this coronavirus crisis, you're going to need to lodge an exemption application and to be granted an exemption before you can depart your country or whatever country you're in overseas to come to Australia. To give you some background information, we're looking in this matter in particular, and I've changed some facts to protect the identity of our client, but we've got a grandfather living in New Zealand. And the grandfather, his intentions were to come to Australia to live with his family. So he's got a son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren. So the grandfather has not only got the intentions of moving to Australia, he'd actually taken action, and that included having sold his house, packed up all his belongings, sent all his belongings to Australia, and literally had sent his cat and dog, and they were in Australia with his family, and he'd been denied entry to Australia twice. So he'd self-lodged 2 exemption applications. And this grandfather, we saw the applications and the evidence that he submitted, was competent. He was an intelligent man. He'd done quite well with the exemption applications, however, had been refused twice. He's come to us, we've assessed his circumstances, looked outside the box, looked at a few other things that we could potentially think that would be considered, and we've submitted a stronger exemption application, and that has come through, and that's why I'm talking to you about that today. So if you're wanting to travel to Australia during this travel ban and you have already lodged an exemption application and been refused, or you're thinking about lodging an exemption application, contact us to let us help you put your strongest application forward to give you the best chance of a successful result so that you can travel to Australia for whatever your reasons are.